So by considering these things, we are going to discuss about the residential buildings first. Okay, so firstly we are going to discuss planning and functional requirements of a residential building. Planning is nothing but pre-thinking or pre-arranging the things in mind or on paper before it happens in actual. That is nothing but the planning. Okay, and we have to go for the planning of a residential building. Okay, residential building is nothing but a building which is used wholly or partly for a considerable time or permanently for human habitation. Such a building is nothing but the residential building. Okay, those buildings we are using for living purpose or for human habitation purpose. Such type of building is nothing but the residential building. Okay, so in a residential building, different types are there according to the arrangements. Okay, here in that first one is the bungalows, that is nothing but the detached building. Okay, detached building is nothing but a building which is isolated from all other connected buildings, is nothing but the detached buildings. One of the best example of that detached building is a separate bungalow. Okay, that is nothing but the that building comes under detached building. Okay, then after that second type is there, that is nothing but the twin bungalows, or we can say semi-detached building. Here, whatever uh, two bungalows are there. Okay, two bungalows we have to construct or we have to plan side by side by keeping a common wall. Okay, means if we're considering a mirror image of a bungalow, how it looks, that view or that type of building is nothing but the twin bungalows or semi-detached building. Means in this, whatever two bungalows are there, these two bungalows are interconnected to each other by a common wall. Okay, and whatever remaining three sides are there, maybe front side, rear side, and one side of left hand side and at right hand side of other bungalow. Okay, uh, from remaining all the sides we have to provide the open spaces. Means that bungalows should not connect to any other bungalows or any building. Okay, such type of bungalows are nothing but the twin bungalows. Okay, then after that row houses. Okay, in a row, if we are constructing or if we are planning number of bungalows in a single row. Okay, or in a row, means in a row houses, whatever either sides are there of a building or of a bungalow are common. Okay, means both the sides of such building will be common. Only they will get the open spaces from front side and rear side. Okay, and such type of row houses are preferred for the labor colonies, or whenever we have to go for the economical construction. Okay, uh, then after that ownership flat and apartments. Basically, we go for the flats and apartments in big metro cities. Okay, because of fear, cost of land uh, is too much high, and it is not feasible to each and everyone to purchase a land of piece of land and uh, construct a building or own bungalow. Okay, due to the cost of land. Okay, uh, so in that case we have to go for the flats and apartments, means a big building we have to construct, and in that building we have to accommodate a number of families as per the uh, requirement, means uh, whatever rules and regulations are there in that particular locality, or rules and regulations laid by the local authority, with consideration of that, as well as whatever size of plot is there. Okay, by considering that, we can increase the number of story of that building, and at each and every floor we can provide number of flats. Okay, means number of houses, uh, maybe 4, 6, 8, 2, 3, whatever number uh, it is feasible. Okay, with consideration, or whatever things are there, with consideration of these things we have to go for it. Okay, so these are the various types of residential buildings are there here. Also we should know the uh, what are the units, or what are the functional requirements of residential buildings, means we have to discuss about various units or various rooms comes in a residential buildings. Okay, so directly we will move towards NBC, National Building Code. Okay, they have given some standard guidelines. Okay, by considering those guidelines, we have to go for the planning and design of residential buildings. Okay, so we will move towards uh, NBC. I think on page number 148 here, they have provided requirements of parts of a buildings. Okay, here the requirements of various parts of a buildings shall be in accordance with 12.1 to 12.9, whatever 12.1 to 12.9, whatever points are mentioned here, we have to consider. Okay, uh, the requirements as given in point number 13. Okay, it will be applicable for public buildings and sites as accessible and barrier free for elder and persons with disabilities shall also be compiled with. Okay, in point number 13, uh, they have mentioned, or they have given some guidelines regarding public buildings and about the uh, access sites as accessible and barrier free for elders and persons with disabilities. Okay, means those persons are uh, physically handicapped. Okay, for them also they have given some guidelines. So firstly we will discuss first point, that is 12.1. It is related to the plinth. Okay, here if we consider about the main building, then the plinth or any part of a building or outhouse shall be so located with respect to the surrounding ground level that adequate drainage of the site is assured. The height of the plinth shall not be less than 450 mm from the surrounding ground level. Okay, whatever. plinth level is there, or whatever plinth is there. Okay, generally you know that plinth which is situated in between ground floor level and ground level. Okay, whatever part is there of a building which is situated in between ground floor level and ground level, that part is nothing but the plinth. Okay, and main function of that plinth is to retain plinth filling, as well as to carry load coming from the superstructure, and have to transfer that load on the foundation or footing in case of a load bearing structure, as well as to prevent the entry of rats and rodents into the building, as well as to avoid or to prevent the entry of flood uh, into the building. Okay, so these are the some functions are there of the plinth. Okay, and generally that plinth we are constructing by using the stone masonry or brick masonry as per our requirements, and what type of building we are going to construct. According to that, we have to go for it. Okay, basically that plinth is required uh, to ensure the proper drainage. Okay, maybe during the rainy season, or maybe whatever um, wastewater is there, or whatever solid waste is there from the building, that we have to drain it out as early as possible or as easy as possible. So to maintain the slope, or to provide the slope to the drainage, we should have uh, uh, our ground floor level above the 450 mm from the ground level. ओके, जो भी अपना ग्राउंड लेवल है, वो ग्राउंड लेवल के ऊपर हम लोगों को जो ग्राउंड फ्लोर लेवल है वो मिनिमम 450 तक रखना चाहिए. ओके, you can increase it. Generally in a residential building, we are trying to provide that plinth height as a 600 okay, but not uh, everywhere we are going to provide 600 Another thing is there also, that is nothing but the whatever flood highest flood level is there, or whatever HFL is there, HFL is there, means high flood level is there in that particular locality. Also, we have to consider while deciding the height of the plinth. Okay, means either we have to provide minimum 450 uh, height to the plinth, or whatever uh, highest flood level is there. Okay, in uh, by consideration of these two things, whatever higher uh, depth is there, we have to consider, or whatever higher height is there, we have to consider. Okay, or we can go for the um, we can increase the height of the plinth also. Okay, uh, if we are increasing the plinth height, then whatever uh, elegance is there of our building will get increased, means whatever we can say external view is there of our building or structure will get increased. So we have to provide either 450 or whatever HFL is there. Okay, in that whatever greater uh, thing is there, we have to consideration, and we have to uh, decide the plane height. Okay, with the consideration of a main building. Okay, then if we are considering interior courtyard or covered parking, means whatever interior courtyard is nothing but the chowk. Okay, generally those courtyards and chowks are there. We can provide at any floor, but those chowks should be open to sky. Okay, uh, every interior courtyard shall be raised at 150 above the determining ground level, and shall be satisfactorily drained. Okay, means Here whatever interior courtyards are there whose highest finishing level at least should be raised by 150 mm above the surrounding ground level to ensure the proper drainage. Okay, so I think all of you understood about the plinth and its requirement and about its functions also. Okay, then we are going to discuss next point, that is 12.2. Okay, here it is regarding habitable rooms. Okay, here the height of all rooms for human habitation shall not be less than 2.75 meter measured from the surface of the floor to the lowest point of the ceiling or bottom of slab. Habitable rooms are nothing but the in that we can consider living room, that is nothing but the drawing room, then after that bedroom, then guest room, okay, study room. Those rooms are comes under habitable rooms. Okay, so here they have given guideline regarding height. Okay, means whatever headroom is there in a habitable room, the height of all rooms for human habitation shall not be less than 2.75 meter measured from the surface of the floor to the lowest point of the ceiling or bottom of slab. What they have mentioned here, whatever headroom is there in each and every habitable room should be 2.75 meter, and that headroom we are considering in between whatever floor level is there, okay, or surface of the floor to bottom surface of the slab, or we can consider, we can say as a ceiling, okay, bottommost point of the ceiling or lowest point of the ceiling, whatever vertical distance is there in between these 2 points, that is nothing but the headroom. Okay, and for habitable rooms it should not be less than 2.75 meters. Okay, these things are applicable while you are drawing the elevation of the building or structure, or while you are preparing the three-dimensional view or isometric view of the building. Okay, then in case of pitched roof, the average height of rooms shall not be less than 2.75 meters. Earlier we have discussed about the flat roofs. Now we are going to discuss about the pitched roof. If we have sloping roof or pitched roof, then that headroom should not be less than 2.75 meter if we are taking the average height of room. Okay, then the minimum clear headroom under a beam, folded plates or eaves shall be 2.4 meters. Means here why they have mentioned about the headroom under the clear headroom under the beam, folded plates and eaves, because of here if we are going to construct skyscraper or high rising building, okay, in that case, as we are increasing the number of story buildings, then whatever its column sizes or whatever its elements are there, we have to increase its sizes or dimensions, as well as whenever we are deciding the size of the room, okay, if we are deciding the size of room bigger and bigger, then whatever distance is there or whatever span is there in between two columns, okay, it will get increases. मैं क्या कहना चाह रहा हूँ इधर, जब हम रूम का साइज जो है वो हम बढ़ाते जाएंगे, जैसे बढ़ाते जाएंगे, समझो अपना 3 by 3 का रूम है, तो whatever clear span is there in between two uh, columns will be 3 meter. If it is more than that, 4 by 5 meter is there, then the if we are going to consider about its width, then the span in between two columns will be 4 meter. Then if it is more than that, 7 by 5 7 by 8 meter or 7 by 10 meter is there, then it's whatever span is there, the span will goes increases, okay. And whenever span goes increases, then whatever load is coming from the floor, it will also get increases. And to sustain that load or to balance that load, we have to provide more depth to the beams, okay. जसं जसं आपल्या रूमची साईज जी आहे ती वाढत जाणार आहे, तस तसं त्याचा जो काही वरचा फ्लोर आहे, ओके, जो काही स्लॅब आहे, त्याच्यावरती पडणारा लोड जो आहे तो वाढत जाणार आहे, ओके। जो भी अपना रूम का साइज है, जैसे जैसे बढ़ जाता है वैसे वैसे उसके ऊपर का जो फ्लोर है, मतलब जो भी अपना स्लैब है, ओके, वो स्लैब के ऊपर आने वाला लोड जो है वो बढ़ जाता है, क्योंकि उसकी वजह से क्या हो जाता है, जो भी हम लोगों ने सपोर्ट प्रोवाइड किया है वो फ्लोर को, वो स्लैब को, जो भी सपोर्ट प्रोवाइड किया है, कौन सा सपोर्ट प्रोवाइड किया है, बीम्स प्रोवाइड किए हैं, ओके। तो वो बीम्स के जो डायमेंशंस है वो हम लोगों को चेंज करना पड़ते हैं, ओके। हियर वो चेंज करते वक्त, मतलब उसका जो विड्थ है, generally we are keeping width of the beam is equal to the width of the wall, means generally we are trying to provide the width of the beam as a 230 mm, ओके, मतलब 9 इंच रखना चाहते हैं, ओके, क्योंकि वो उसका जो ऑफसेट वगैरह वो आएगा, वो ऑब्स्ट्रक्शंस और उसको क्या बोलते हैं हम, अपसेट जो है वो अच्छा नहीं दिखता, ओके। तो वो अवॉइड करने के लिए हम लोग क्या कर लेते हैं, तो बीम का साइज जो है वो जनरली 230 mm, उसका विड्थ जो है वो 230 mm रख देते हैं। लेकिन कहीं कहीं बार हम लोग उसका विड्थ जो है वो चेंज कर देते हैं अकॉर्डिंग टू द लोडिंग कंडीशन, और अकॉर्डिंग टू द एनालिसिस, कितना लोड आ रहा है उसके अकॉर्डिंग we have to go for the changing of its sizes. But in general, I am saying in a residential building, whenever we are considering two story building or three-story building, okay. But if we are constructing more number of story building, then we have to go for the increases the size of the beams, maybe in width, okay, or maybe in a height. तो लोड बढ़ने की वजह से वो लोड सस्टेन करने के लिए, सेफली कैरी करने के लिए, हमारा जो भी सपोर्ट है, बीम है, उसका डेप्थ है जो वो बढ़ जाता है। मतलब हम लोग क्या कर लेते हैं जनरली, वट एवर फ्लोर टू फ्लोर हाइट इज देयर इन अ रेसिडेंशियल बिल्डिंग, वी आर ट्राइंग टू प्रोवाइड 3 मीटर, ओके। रेसिडेंशियल बिल्डिंग में फ्लोर टू फ्लोर हाइट जो है वो 3 मीटर रख देते हैं, मतलब 10 फीट रख देते हैं, ओके। तो by deducting the slab thickness, okay, whatever remaining dimension is there, vertical dimension is there, generally we are considering in between from floor finish to the bottom of the ceiling, okay, that is nothing but the headroom. Generally we will get it more than 2.75 meter or 2.75 meter also. But whenever we are considering headroom below the beam or eaves or whatever folded plates are there or sheets are there, okay, below that we are not getting that headroom as required. So they have given one guideline regarding that also. uh, Whatever headroom is there below the beams and eaves or folded plates, it should be minimum 2.4 meters. Okay, means we अ, हम लोग जो भी डिसाइड करने के लिए जा रहे थे बीम का डेप्थ जो है वो उसके ऊपर रिस्ट्रिक्शन आ जाएगा। उसका डेप्थ हम लोग ज़्यादा रखने की वजह से उसके बजाय हम क्या कर सकते हैं, उसका जो विड्थ है वो विड्थ बढ़ा सकते हैं। ओके, सो वी विल गेट दैट क्लियर डिस्टेंस। ओके, दैट इज नथिंग बट दी 2.4 मीटर। We should get that 2.4 meter distance below the bottom surface of the beam to floor surface. Okay, then in the case of air conditioned rooms, a height of not less than 2.4 meter measured from the surface of the floor to the lowest point of air conditioning duct or the fall ceilings shall be provided. Okay, जब हम सिंगल स्टोरी बिल्डिंग कंस्ट्रक्ट करते हैं रेसिडेंशियल के लिए, और व्हाट एवर रूपिंग मटेरियल इज दियर दैट वी आर गोइंग टू यूज ॲज अ मेटल सीट्स. ओके, जो म्हणजेच काय आपण पत्रे वगैरे वरती प्रोव्हाइड करतोय बघा. इन दॅट केस टू मेंटेन दी टेम्परेचर इन टू द रूम वी गो फॉर दी फॉल सीलिंग्स. ओके, आपने अपने कॉलेज में भी देखा होगा, जो भी अपना कॉन्फ्रेंस हॉल है, इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस हॉल है, उसमें भी आप देख सकते हैं कि वो फॉल सीलिंग मतलब क्या है. वो जो फॉल सीलिंग रहता है वो फॉल सीलिंग पैनल्स रहते हैं. ओके, जो भी पैनल्स है वो पैनल्स जो भी स्वाडस्ट रहता है वुडन मटेरियल का, वो कॉम्प्रेस करके उसके प्लेट्स बनाए जाते हैं, और वो प्लेट्स जो है वो एक प्रॉपर स्ट्रक्चर बना के वो प्लेट जो है वो स्ट्रक्चर में फिट कर देते हैं. उसको फॉल सिलिंग बोलते हैं. कधी कधी तुम्ही बघितलं असेल की बघा त्या लाकडाच्या भुश्यापासून बनवलेल्या ज्या काही प्लेट्स असतात, ओके, वुडन प्लँक्स, त्या ते जे काही प्लँक्स किंवा जे काही प्लेट्स आहेत त्या आपण पत्र्याच्या खाली एक स्ट्रक्चर फॉर्म करतोय बघा. मग मे बी तिथं स्टील मटेरियलचा यूज करून करत असेल, किंवा त्याच्यासाठी स्टीलच्या पट्ट्या वगैरे असतील, किंवा वायर्सचा वगैरे वापर करून आपण काय करतोय, तिथं एक स्ट्रक्चर प्रोव्हाइड करतोय, आणि त्या स्ट्रक्चरमध्ये त्या प्लेट्स ज्या आहेत त्या प्रोव्हाइड करण्याचं काम करतोय, म्हणजे जेणेकरून खालून दिसत असताना पण आपल्याला व्यवस्थित दिसेल. म्हणजे whatever interior is there of our room will get increase, its beautification will get increase. Okay, as well as due to that vacuum will get created in between that false ceiling and metal roofing. Okay, जी काही रोफिंग आपण प्रोव्हाइड केलेली आहे मेटलची त्याच्यामध्ये, आणि आपलं जे काही फॉल सिलिंग आहे त्याच्यामध्ये एक कॅव्हिटी तयार होईल, आणि त्या कॅव्हिटीमुळं काय होईल तर ते टेम्परेचर व्हॅरिएशन जे आहे, ओके, ते टेम्परेचर व्हॅरिएशन जे आहे ते कमीत कमी होईल. म्हणजे जरी वरतून ऊन जास्त पडलेलं असेल तरी आपल्याला आतमध्ये रूममध्ये थोडंसं गारवा जाणवेल, जेणेकरून त्या कॅव्हिटीमधून जी काही हीट आहे ती लवकरात लवकर पास होत नाहीये. त्याच्या पाठीमागचं हे रिझन आहे. ओके, जे काही आपण फॉल सिलिंग वगैरे प्रोव्हाइड करतो त्याच्या पाठीमागचं रिझन काय आहे तर टू मेंटेन दी रूम टेम्परेचर. जे काही रूम आहे त्याच्यामधलं टेम्परेचर जे आहे ते मेंटेन करण्यासाठी जनरली आपण फॉल सिलिंगला जातोय. मग त्या केसमध्ये, इन दॅट केस ऑल्सो, व्हॉट एव्हर clear headroom is there, it should not be less than 2.4 meters. Okay, this is about height in habitable rooms. Okay, then